Let's start in Unity Hub. We have to click New, make sure we've got 3D selected, name the project. So this might be my first FPS tutorial. That's for me. Name it something relevant for you, because when you start making more projects, it becomes very important, because if they're all named random, then you won't know where stuff is. So make sure you name it. Create. Wait for Unity to start up. It might take a little bit depending on the computer that you're using. The first thing we're going to do is import some assets into our project so we can use them. They will be things like terrain textures, trees, FPS controllers, and things like that in this tutorial. So we go to Assets at the folder at the top here, and we go down to Import Package, Custom Package. And we find the, where is it? Downloads folder. You find the package that you've been provided, or if you've got a custom package, whatever it is. It'll end with .Unity Package. So just double click on that. You'll get a import window with an import button. Click on the import button and then wait for the assets to load, and then you'll notice a new folder appear in your assets folder here in the project panel. Again, depending on the assets that you're importing, if there's a lot, sometimes it can be up to a few gig, it might take a little while for them to finish importing into your project. So just wait patiently. There we go. When you first import some packages and new assets, usually in Unity you will get these errors down the bottom here. But this package that we're using for this tutorial, you shouldn't have anything that comes up that will not allow you to play. So we've got that's the first step. We've got our assets in our project. Next step is we need to go to 3D game, from the game object menu, 3D object, terrain. We want to add a flat terrain to our scene here. I'm just going to double click on the terrain in the hierarchy, and that will zoom in on it. First step with terrains is always going to be hitting the cog over here and setting its terrain width and length. So in this example, we're going to set it to 200 by 200. Just take note of the terrain height, because at the moment the terrain is at the bottom of the invisible working area. So I'll just zoom in on it again. The next step is, so step number 2, after we've added a terrain, after we've set the width and the length, we go to the, if I hover over this tool, it's called the Paint Terrain tool. Second one. Looks like a little paintbrush. And we hit the drop down just inside of this tool, and we select the Set Height. And once we've selected the set height, we can change the height or position of this terrain. I'm going to set it to half of the working available height that we have. And if we remember, if I go back to the cog, the terrain height is currently set at 600 down here. We don't change that value. We keep it that value, or if you have a custom project that you're doing, then sure, you change that value. But in this case, that's the stock height. So when we come back to the set height under the paintbrush, paint texture, or paint terrain, we set it to halfway. And if I zoom out, I will click flatten all. It's moved from here up to here. So from down here, it used to be, it moved up 300. And we have 600 in total. So that means we have another 300 up here to make mountains, and 300 down here space to make holes or rivers. Now that's set. That's the most important two steps when you first put a terrain in, because if you start making hills at the start and then you decide you want to make some holes later on, then you'll have to flatten it and it will ruin all of your... I'll do an example. If I'm raising and lowering, if I've made this and then I wanted to go and lower and I wasn't able to because I'm at the bottom, I would lose all my work, because if I set height now, it would flatten everything. So that's the first step, or second step, after we've added a terrain. Again, we've gone terrain width, terrain length. We've set the height to halfway, 300. Now, we are going to select the paint texture. We're going to add a base texture. We're going to click on Edit, Layers, and Create a Layer. And you'll get this window that pops up. These are all the assets that we imported through that package at the very start of this tutorial. We have, in these assets, we have 4 main textures, base textures that we can paint. And we can use any of these, but these are the ones that are supposed to be used for this purpose. I usually start with Muddy Rock, so we just double click. And you'll notice that my terrain now is covered in that Muddy Rock terrain. It's just a repeated pattern of that texture. I can add, create again, and select another one. And I can come onto my terrain here now and paint that texture. I can change my brush size down here, make it a little bit bigger, make it a little bit smaller. Change the opacity, that means the transparency. The less opacity means if I'm clicking, the less strong it comes out as I click. So sometimes you want to see through the texture that you're, in this case, just over here to the left here, you want to see through the texture for some transparency. So that's how you paint. The next step is to add some hills and raise or lower the terrain. So that's the first tool. We're still under the paint terrain main button here. But under this button we have many things that we can do under this drop down menu. So the paint texture is here, the set height is here, the raise and lower terrain is also here. These are the 3 main features you use when we're editing a terrain. So the raise and lower terrain is the next thing I want to show you. It's simply we paint hills. You can adjust the opacity. Sometimes the opacity is very strong at the start, so it goes super hard and fast. So I usually like to bring the opacity down to control that. And then you can change the brushes also. And we can also, if I look from the side angle here, all those are going up, but if we wanted to go down and make a hole, we can use the same tool, except use Shift. Holding Shift and click will do the exact opposite. So you'll see now that I've gone down as well as up. So there are my hills, and there's my, we could call this a little dam area. I might actually go back to my paint texture and create a layer and put some sand in that dam area. And we'll put some water in there shortly. The next step is, once I've done my hills and my contours of my terrain, I can add some trees using the paint trees, which is this tool in the middle. If you're wondering what these tools are, you can also just hover over with the mouse if you're unsure. But we're looking for the paint tool, the paint trees, sorry. We go to Edit Trees, which is this button over here, Add a Tree, and you'll get another dialog box. It's a little bit confusing because we've got to hit this little round button here to add trees, or the asset of the trees. We'll click it, you'll get another window, and we have 4 trees to choose from within this package. Broadleaf, conifer, and a palm. I like the conifers, so I add those first. You can add them all. They come out here like a palette of colours, but they're trees. So we'll add another one. Click on the circle again. We'll add a palm tree this time. Click add. Now we have the selection of the choice of 2 trees. First I'm going to start with the conifer. When you click, sometimes it's not the size that you're expecting, but that's okay. We can shift click, but the way the paint trees works is exactly like the details. We can just paint literally straight onto the terrain. Now again, depending on your computer, you don't want to have massive clumps of trees because it'll make your computer run very laggy and slow. So the first thing we need to do is get a gist of the size of the area of the trees. So if this was too big, if that was my circle here was too big, I would come here and adjust the brush size. Bring that down. That will give me a bit more control. When I click, there's still too many trees within that circle, so I'm going to also adjust the tree density, these settings over here, and bring the tree density down so there's only 1 or 2 trees coming out and I can control it. It's still very quick to plant trees if I hold the mouse key down, but I want to be able to control where the trees go. Getting rid of trees is just holding shift, if I haven't mentioned that already. And the tree height we can change too, because those trees look very large to me. So we're going to adjust the tree height. I'm going to drag that down. And let's see, that's a bit better, smaller. And we can also adjust the wider this gap in here between these 2 sections here, the more random or the more variance there is between the tree height, and it also applies to the tree width. So I'll demonstrate. If I open this middle section up, I'll get a tree that is varied between that slider's height. It might be like from 0 to whatever this scale goes to. If this was out of 100, let's say, that might be up to maybe 70 or 60 or 70 there. But if I want trees that are uniform and close together in terms of size, I would bring that slider back down and just set it about where I want it. So there's trees. Again, we're going to the second tree. There's the palm trees. I can put some palm trees around. And that's how we put trees down. The next tool on this toolbar that I want to show you is the paint details. And this is for grass textures. Now the one thing we need to consider when we're putting down grass is that it really affects the processing power of your computer, and it will definitely chug and lag if you put too much grass in. So the way we do it is we select, we edit, we add the grass texture, which is this option down here. We get another panel similar to how trees were added, and we need to select this little circle again. We select it, and within this package there are 2 grass assets. You can choose either, or you can add them both. We'll just click the first one. Once you've selected it, we click add. Now, same way we added trees and the base textures, the grass is simply painted on. And you'll notice that that grass is fairly thick and clumped. We definitely don't want that. So I'm going to either Control Z that, or if you've painted some grass, you can Shift and then click and unpaint the grass. Now, before we paint the grass, to fix this so it doesn't come out in big clumps like this, we adjust the opacity and the target strength, and we bring them right down. So they're those settings here, these 2. The brush size you can vary, but that won't affect how strong the grass comes out. So I've adjusted the opacity and target strength, and I'll just click once and then hold Shift and really thin out the grass. If it's still coming out too thick, I will bring the opacity and target strength almost down to 0 and go again. So that's a bit better, especially for the computer. You'll notice in games now, if you look at their grass textures and details, they won't have big clumps of grass. It'll be very similar to this. So once we've got our grass in, we will put some water in the middle here in this section. It's a little bit different. This is a single asset that we'll simply drag from our prefabs folder. That is down here in our standard assets that we imported at the start. So I will open that using a little triangle, go to environment, go to water, and I like the water 4. I reckon that looks the most realistic. I'll find a prefabs folder. We're always looking for a prefabs folder. And then I'll just use, I think these are 2 types of waters, water for simple and water for advanced. We'll use the advanced. We simply drag this in. You might look a bit funny, you mightn't go into position at the very start, but just move your mouse until it sort of gets into the general area and then let go. I'm going to zoom out. It's in the general idea or general location of where I want it, but I will adjust that. So the way we adjust it is we use these tools at the top here. This one is moving objects in 3D space. The second one is rotating. This one is scaling objects, making them larger or smaller. And we won't worry about these last 3 or this first one. We use that by right clicking or middle clicking on the mouse. So the first thing I want to do is move this up into their terrain a bit. So I'll use the first tool. And when we're moving objects, it goes for any object, not just this water object. I want to be moving them on the axis that I intend to move it on. So if I want to move it on the x-axis, I don't just drag it from the middle here somewhere. I drag it from the red tip of the arrow, and it will lock to that axis. Same for the blue axis, and same for the up and down, the y-axis. So if I want to shove that down a little bit into the hole, then I will drag it from that tip of that arrow here, not from in here. Big no-no. You can, it'll work, but it will sometimes you won't be able to control the axis that you're dragging it on. So once the water's in there, the very last thing is to finally test this scene, and we can do that using an FPS controller from the characters folder under standard assets. Again, we look for the prefabs folder and we drag in the FPS controller. I'm going to drag that in. I'll put him over near the grass so we can have a look at that. Again, those controls come up for moving on those arrows, so if he's not in the right location at the start, we can bring him up a little bit or move him over to where we need him. But if I dragged him on just from the middle randomly, this is what happens. I move him and I don't actually know where I'm moving him. In this case, if I look now, if I zoom out, I've actually moved him way outside of our terrain space. He's actually down below somewhere in hell. So you got to make sure that you don't drag him from the middle. I'll undo that. We'll come back to the X, Y, Z location of this terrain, and now I can push play. The play button up the top here is how we test, and how we stop is we push escape and then we push it again and it will go out of play mode. We never use the pause or this forward sort of next button. Never use them, ever. So let's push play. Alright, we have our grass waving in the wind. Again, that's why we don't put big clumps of grass, because it will make the computer lag. We have our trees, our conifers, our palms, and we have our advanced water and our mountains. So again, you can go in and out of testing mode by hitting escape, and then you push the play key again. They're the basics that we will need to be comfortable with getting started with Unity 3D.